Hi, it's Ali here, salon director from the Head Gardener in Inverness. Talking about cancer is never easy, but unless we're open and honest about it, how can we learn from each other and most importantly, support each other? Personally, I love this podcast. Every so often there'll be a little nugget that will just smack you in the face and you just think, whoa, right, that resonates. I think Pennie is an amazing storyteller. She's utterly honest and yes, sweary, but cancer makes you a bit sweary. I'm really proud to be the sponsor of Lump and I hope you get as much from it as I do. But don't forget to like it, rate it and share it. And over to Pennie.
Jealous. I lie back on the bedroom floor, covering my face with my hands. I'm wearing a tatty old pair of thermal cycling tights, one bright pink sports sock, and a crop top. Tears leak out from round my fingers. Eventually, the frustration is too much, and I repeatedly thump the floor with my fists, surprised at the size of the sound. I briefly worry it will attract B, but then maybe I want to be found. Saved from myself. I'm awash with indecision. Desperate to make the most of the day, I tried to put a bike up on top of the car so B and me could cycle along the canal path into town. But I couldn't manage it. The bike was too heavy, too awkward, and my reach too short. I gave up, then decided instead that I'd dismantle my bike, put it into the rear of the car, get changed into cycling clothes, drop B with her dad, then go for a ride up round the route we call the Lochs, over the southwest side of the city. But this seems fussy and overcomplicated, plus the fight with the bike and the car has already got me heightened and tetchy. I'm looking for excuses to stoke me. I can feel myself tipping, teetering on the edge of fury. I change tack. Grasping frantically at the last traces of something rational, I start to peel back out of my cycling lycra with the thought instead of dropping B off, then coming back home and heading up the hill above the house. But by then half the day will have passed and I won't have long in daylight and too late. I raise myself up, spinning briefly on the rim of my temper, then plunge, thumping to the floor again. I vehemently dislike myself in this state, and wild with annoyance at myself as much as anything else. Stop being such a dick, I hiss. Right, plan Z. I'm not allowing myself any more fucking indecision. I prise myself off the floor, wipe my face, finish getting changed, then hurriedly gather my swim things and wetsuit. I'll drop B at her dad's and find a loch to take a dip. Somewhere alone and unwatched, somewhere to bathe and cool this foul mood. At B's bedroom door, the frustration is still rolling off me. She feels it push into her space and shoots me a look. I ignite, hissing and spitting about the state of her room, which I'd asked her to tidy up 3 times yesterday. Then I point at the dirty plate and banana skin, which she still hasn't cleaned away, and the box of cereal she's been snacking on, lying on the floor. Each transgression winds me up a fresh notch. Snarl, snap, growl, blame, every single snippet of it, pure displacement and distraction from the reality of what's really totally pissing me off. "Why are you so angry with me?" she says in a small voice, tears threatening. "I'm not angry with you," I want to scream. "I'm angry with me." She pulls her hoodie up over her head, hiding, then takes refuge in the bathroom. It's then I feel myself rise up, floating above the scene, appalled afresh at myself. Disgusted, I crumple. I fold myself onto the stairs above her room, and through my tears tell her quietly how sorry I am. None of this is her fault. None of this should have been brought quite literally to her door. Shit. And now I'm going to take her round to her dad's for the weekend with little or no time to properly make amends. I add guilt to the weight I'm already hefting round with me today. Fuck. I'm surprised at cancer's ability to still catch me off guard, even after all these months of hanging out together. I felt more angry and upset about cancer today than I have for weeks, maybe months. The size of my capsize feels both directly in proportion and opposition to the beauty of the day, which is crisp, golden, and achingly lovely. It's a day that openly defies anyone to regret being alive. It's a day I should be doing, being, living, breathing it all in. But for some reason I feel blocked, like I'm repeatedly throwing myself at a wall. Today I resent all this beauty. I know what the cause of all this is. I know why I'm feeling so cunty. I'm not pleased with myself for knowing it. I think it's an unappealing quality to have, which is why I'm delaying placing it here on the page. I don't want to admit it. I'm jealous. Ugly, I know. Each Saturday when David goes off with the cycling club, I'm jealous. Today, on this perfect late November day without a breath of wind, I ache to be on the bike with him and all the others. I feel taunted, teased by the knowledge of how much the old me would have enjoyed today. I'm jealous of his freedom to do the things I used to love, and I'm jealous of the club cyclists for getting to spend this exquisite day with the man I love. I hate jealousy. It's an utterly pointless waste of decent energy. But I don't know how to flip myself back upright. As soon as I've dropped B off, I call Ali to cry and confess. "Tell him," she says. "He has a right to know how sad and difficult you find Saturdays." But I can't. I won't. Because he works hard all week, and he never utters a single word about what impact my cancer has had on him. Saturday rides with the club are an escape, and they're important, and they're his. And I don't want to taint what they mean for him with the knowledge of how sad they are for me. I'm embarrassed about how selfish I'm being. I don't want him to see it in me. With Ali's voice still in my head, I drive to the loch we swam in together back in the summer, searching for the residue of our laughter to try and lift me. I don't think I've ever seen the water so still. I reach for my phone and try to capture the singularity of the moment, the reflection of the sky in impossible blue against the last of the autumn rusts. I sit for a moment on the large stones by the edge of the loch, breathe it all in, try to feel my way to a less raised state. Closing my eyes in the warmth of the sun, I recall Bee's joy at finding hundreds of tadpoles and newts in this very spot back in June. It was another too perfect day. I'd begged and pleaded with her to skip lockdown schooling, to come play with me. Tutting at my blatant disregard for her education and need for obedience, she finally gave in, and we'd spent the afternoon swimming through the lilies and scooping up handfuls of wriggling froglets. But the memory of Bee's joy jars against my earlier bitching at her, and I snap my eyes back open, smarting, swallowing down fresh tears. In a confused mix of penance and the desire to crack this melancholy, I slowly lower myself down the rocks to ease myself through the glassy surface of the loch, sending out arcs of tiny ripples. I gasp. Even through my wetsuit, the cold steals my breath away, my bare hands instantly pink and hurting. Pushing myself away from the shallow rocks, I try to swim, but my body struggles and resists. I'm a little bit afraid. I don't want to move out of my depth. I feel a tension between the extremes of temperature, beauty, and my mood. I'd wanted to stay long enough to wash away my sadness, but after just a few scant minutes, already I'm too cold, my hands too numb. I know I should get out and get warm. Once again, I've taken myself off on my own, with no one knowing where I am, and now I'm up to my neck in freezing fucking water, trying what? Exactly. Trying to shock myself into a better frame of mind? There's more than a hint of madness here. And I know it. It's the first time wild swimming hasn't worked for me, and I drag my feet on the return home. I want to hide from David. I don't want him to see me till I can disguise what it is that I'm struggling with. I considered turning off my phone. and just continuing to drive somewhere, anywhere, while I scratch around for a way to turn my jealousy into something less destructive. But it's no good, and I arrive back like a guilty school kid who knows they're going to get a row. But of course I don't. I walk in through the door, drop a bag of rice from the shopping I'm struggling with, which splits and scatters across the floor. Then I, too, split and scatter. And I know there's no gain in hiding any of this. So while I collapse into a soggy heap on the floor next to the rice, I spill it all to David. I tell him how sad and jealous and caught up I am, how furious I am, both at cancer, for ripping away all the things I want, and at myself for being utterly selfish and ungrateful for all I have. And because he's David, and under the surface of this man of few words, there's a man who knows just the right words to pick. By the time he's finished scooping up the rice, he's scooped me up too. And he doesn't make me feel selfish or stupid. He makes me feel understood. And already, he's planning ways to get me back cycling with the club and to making it all okay. And I look at this funny, strong, resilient man and our life together. And slowly, the shattered fragments of my day form back together and my glass refills. And I end the day unbroken. Lump is sponsored by Ali McCritchie and the fantastic team at the Head Gardener Hair Salon in Inverness. Without them, it simply wouldn't be possible. So a massive thanks to them for all their support. If you like Lump, make sure you tell the team when you're next in the salon and they'll give you a free gift. Coming up in the next episode, I sit back and consider how well I'm doing at living with cancer. Can I even say I live with cancer? Because, in reality, I live with the echo, trace, ripple effects of cancer. I don't live with it. It was cut out. I live with its scars. Lump is written and presented by me, Pennie Stuart, and produced by Adventurous Audio.